Damn, I'm on my Britney shit. Welcome back to Libra Night's epic anime reviews. Today we're talking about an anime that's near and dear to my heart. Little hint here. You know what we're talking about? That's right, Hunter x Hunter. Bruh. Today we're actually going to be talking a little bit about my favorite characters of all time. His name is Gon. Gon Freaks from Hunter x Hunter. Alright, fuck it, let's just do it. So for the first couple of episodes, you're not going to look at this and think, oh my god, this kid is so cool. Oh my god, this world's so epic. It's just simplicity. When you watch the show at the start, it's like taking a walk in the park. It's sincerity, it's light. It's this little kid just being himself, fishing, playing with bears. If you watch the 90s version, there's a clip of him experiencing child abuse for the first time. So that was awesome. Basically, you're kind of strapped in thinking that it's going to be one of those indie movie type stories, right? It actually reminded me of stuff like Promised Neverland without the horror side, just like the childlike lens, or Letter B, if you know that one, even Romeo's Blue Skies. It's got the same fairy tale vibe. That makes a lot of sense because Togashi grew up with that generation where we had all these 90s shows of just kids being kids, kids going to school and back. I think it really captured the essence of like nature and blowing winds and trees and grass and all that cool stuff. And more than that, kids would like be out in nature, fucking collecting beetles or whatever. And I think that's reminiscent of the character. There's a lot less of that in this generation where everyone's kind of closed off, and COVID kind of has a major factor into that as well. Now, here's the thing. Gon doesn't do anything that's necessarily out of the ordinary. He's not treated like some sort of a outsider messiah. No one's like gawking at him like, oh my god, you're amazing, or like in case of Naruto, it's like, oh, you got the demon fox trapped inside of you. Like, he's just a normal fucking kid. See him walking down the street, you want to fucking smack his candy off. Beat it, kid. With Gon, there's no catchphrase, no gimmick, like there's no Naruto Databayo or whatever the fuck. He's just sincere, and that's the appeal. You see videos of kittens and just animals helping each other out. It's not even humanity. It's just a basic consideration that gets tainted as we get older. His innocence is what pulls people in, and when he's angry or frustrated, it's the same innocence taken to its extreme. And that's why those early arcs hit so well. They feel like a fairy tale. Simple, light, and clever in simplistic ways. Like, it's not quirky for the sake of being quirky. It's just doing the basics really well. But then there's a shift, right? Like, by the time you head into the Hunter exam, the show starts to pivot. It's not just some simple, light children's storybook. It's clever. It starts twisting the world around you. The Gon proves that he's a smart cookie. He's resourceful, he's stubborn, sharp even. But then there's all these other characters. We got a straight up actual pedophile, Hisoka, coming in, and he's like, oh my god, I get on that yacht.
Oh, Gone. Gone. That's good. You're so very good. Those eyes, that look, that spirit. I just can't wait to break you.
By the time you reach the later phases of the exam, it's like full on shonen, fighting, challenges, crazy characters like Killua the assassin that carries out to the next arc. Very typical shonen stuff, tournaments and battles. But here's the key. Even through these shifts, Gon doesn't change at its core. It's like, basically, you took Peter Pan and dressed him green. Peter Pan was already green, so, I mean, I think that's kind of the spirit of Peter Pan being carried here, right? And you just threw him into the anime universe. It's not just a visual comparison. Gon really does embody the same spirit of youth, that same like eternal child energy. Naruto screams about the power of youth, like Guy Sensei, and we got all that. But Hunter x Hunter doesn't really do that. Hunter x Hunter doesn't just celebrate youth, it shows how it can break. As arcs go on, the weight starts piling on Gon's shoulders, right? Again, in York New Auction, he brushes against Kurapika's crazy vengeance path that he's on, and we see Gon handle other people's sort of bloodlust for the first time.
Kurapika is now drowning in an indescribable emptiness.
And by the time Come Here Ant Heart hits, all that innocence, all that sincerity, like that's pushed to its max. Like Kite's death triggers something inside of him, like the mask is gone, and we finally see the dark sort of beast that's been hinted at since the start. And it's not like with Naruto, where Naruto has this nine-tailed fox inside of him, and Ichigo has his hollow, and Yuji has Sakuna, and their darkness kind of like boosts them up. But that's where Hunter x Hunter differs, and Gon's darkness, it literally destroys him. These are all ugly, intense human emotions that, sure, it's dressed up in an anime fashion, but it shows how it can be detrimental to your relationship and your psyche. And Gon's quote unquote darkness, it destroys him. Right? His transformation in Chimera Ant arc, isn't a cool power up. It's self destruction. It's his innocence turned inward, basically burning him alive. Obsession with Kite, his obsessive nature of willing to go that far for someone he cares about, when taken to its logical extreme, is not so perfect. And if you think about it, Gon is more of a critique of the typical shonen archetype main character, right? It kind of forces you to ask, like, what even is innocence? What happens when you push it to its logical extreme? And in Gon's case, it doesn't protect him. It ruins him. Right? When you take that same childlike curiosity, that same childlike innocence, frustration, obsession, the only reason he was so obsessed with Kite in the first place, if you think about it, was because of the same missing father figure role. And it doesn't protect him, it ruins him. He loses his ability for, and then basically would have died if it wasn't for Killua wishing him back to life. Like, he would have literally been dead. Like, all these doctors coming up to his hospital, like, Killua's like, nah, I got this, bro. Step out, bro. Get rid of that medical certification. Like, I got this shit. And that's where I kind of want to get into the relationship of Gon and Killua. I think it's very unique what Hunter x Hunter does with exploring these two guys' friendship. It's very different from Naruto and Sasuke, where it's just, oh, you're my friend, I will rescue you no matter what dark turn you take. It's very sentimental, it's very juvenile. Killua's relationship with Gon is such a quiet heartbreak, right? Gon kind of rescued Killua from the start of the show, and Killua has admired him ever since. He was literally trapped in his mom's basement, chained up in his abusive assassin family or whatever, and Gon broke through and reached him in the literal and metaphorical sense. He showed up in his house, and his bodyguards just kept beating the shit out of him. It was like, no, Master Killua will not see you today. And it just, for once in Killua's life, there was someone that stood by him and, like, pushed through his quote unquote walls. And the whole time, Killua was trying to keep up, making sure that he was helping Gon meet his father. It wasn't never even just about the hunter exam. I want to be a hunter. It's like, no, Killua was like, I want to help you succeed in your mission. How many friends do we have, these days that actually go out of their way to do something like that? And that's where it's a very quiet heartbreak with Killua, where finally in the Chimera Ant arc, where Gon is just so obsessed with avenging the death of Kite, finally, in the heat of the moment where it really counted, Gon said, hey, it must be so easy for you, right? To, like, you don't even have to worry about other people. It's not something like the narrator really breaks down and spends too much time even. It's like a 2 episode moment, and that sucks because in this entire time Killua has been basically his sidekick pushing him through. But that's the same stubbornness that drew other people to Gon as a character, kind of flipped inwards, where it's like, oh, so that stubbornness can also stab the people he cares about. Finally, afterward, the whole transformation sequence happens, and Gon would literally have died as a result of the fight. That's the kind of character we're talking about, who'd literally just sacrifice everything just to prove a point. That's kind of his detriment as well. That's where I think we really don't see such a sort of mature analysis between characters' relationship in a shonen. It kind of irks me every time someone calls Hunter x Hunter a shonen. Yes, it's in Shonen Jump. Yes, it's about boys coming of age type animes, whatever, but in a lot of ways it isn't. It draws a lot of complicated relationships, and sure, in the end of the day, Gon finally does meet his dad. But earlier in the Great Island arc, he literally uses his card, which takes Killua with him. His father designed it so if he used that card, he would end up being teleported to Kite instead of his father directly. I think that's a very interesting rule that Jane kind of set up, where it just shows that, well, if you're still kind of holding on to your friends, then you can't be going where I'm going. I think that's also part of the same obsession. It's the same character that basically finally, in the end of the day, not only lost all his powers, but also kind of lost someone who really cared about him. Again, it's the same Peter Pan complex taken to its logical extreme. Finally, Gon has to climb the world tree by himself, no powers. And it's a nice episode. It's the very last episode of Hunter x Hunter. A very somber sort of, you look back and think, damn, like he went through like so much crazy shit. And the manga still goes on. There's still more arcs to cover. It's still an ongoing series, which is, I'm really curious about where it's going to end up from here. Now, an even bigger world to explore. I really hope it doesn't become like a One Piece thing. And yeah, this is basically what ties the world of Hunter x Hunter as a whole, right? Every character in the show feels grounded. Nobody's two-dimensional. Kurapika, Killua, Leorio, they are not sidekicks propping up the main guy. They live their own individual life, and Gon's action that has impact. And the world isn't as brutally punishing as like an Attack on Titan, for example, where a single mistake is like, oh you fucked up. You didn't share your piece of bread with your friend. Therefore, you get to watch your mom getting eaten half by a titan. Like, now you know how to share. It's also not as forgiving as Naruto, where just one heartfelt speech redeems a villain. Like, what the fuck was that, Obito? In Hunter x Hunter, consequences matter, and they're measured through humanity. And even villains make sense in their own twisted logic. Does everyone get their redemption? Does everyone get what they're looking for? And it's like, no, not everyone in Hunter x Hunter gets what they deserve. There's one character whose power was just to control dogs. He just got shot and he just died. I mean, spoiler alert, I'm sorry, but they just killed him in the middle of the fucking highway. It's fucked up, right? That's just how it is in real world, man. Not everyone's gonna get a perfect sort of stitched up logical ending. Gon starts as a fairy tale kid, but basically Togashi piles weight onto that innocence until it breaks. And when it breaks, you realize Hunter x Hunter isn't really trying to tell you a story about youth. It's rather showing you just how fragile it can be. So yeah, that's my opinion on Hunter x Hunter, guys. Epic show, if you ask me. 10 out of 10. One of my favorite characters of all time. I really don't want to drag this video out longer than it has to be. So we're just testing out a new format and see how it goes. Obviously, as usual, like, subscribe, whatever the fuck. I'm not gonna beg you for likes. Fuck you. Put out some opinion pieces going forward. Anyway, take care. Love you. Bye bye.